Hi there, my name is Stan Musilek. I'm an advertising photographer in San Francisco. I operate 2 studios, one in San Francisco and one in Paris. Right now here we are in San Francisco on a shoot. So we're kind of sneaking this show in there a little bit. But that gives me the opportunity to show everybody who helps me to create my images. And so we have Amber here, who is my agent and producer. We have Lupin, my first assistant. We have Saper, my second assistant. We have Renato, who is my digital artist. Then we have Emery, who is the fashion stylist. And we got Nancy, who does hair and makeup. I guess, I hope you enjoy what you're gonna see, and we're gonna get back into the shoot here.
Welcome to the Mark Silver Show, Advancing Your Photography, where we bring you tips from remarkable photographers about how to take photographs you love. Hey Stan, thanks for inviting us to your studio for Advancing Your Photography.
Finally, after a couple of attempts,
exactly,
we were able to make it.
Tell me about your approach to photography and the type of work you really love to do.
You know, I'm a commercial photographer, so there's a division between the assigned work and the self-assigned work. The stuff what I like to do, it's kind of a combination of the final visual we're working on and the idea and the concept behind it, being it assigned or self-assigned. So, you know, when there's a good idea behind the shot, then I just kind of try to contribute my thing to make it as good as I can, you know.
How do you get those ideas? Where do they originate from?
I think, you know, they usually kind of a little observation which just happened during the day. I sketch out a lot of things which cross my mind. They being, you know, it's the inspiration or the stimulation comes often from different parts of the arts, such as architecture or music or, you know, fashion and so on, you know. So, and then it's an idea about how we can make an image with this, and I sketch it out, and when we have some time, then I get around to do this, you know.
Gotcha. So you put a lot of pre-planning into your images?
Lots of pre-planning go into these things. I'm definitely not one of the guys who shoots a lot of images. The image, we start to produce the image after it has been completely kind of sketched out and thought out. And then it becomes fairly clear to how to get from point A to point B. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the approach. And
Stan, so what are some of the key points that you use every time you pick up a camera, or even before you pick up a camera?
The camera seems to be almost like the least important things in what I do. You know, the idea is to the approach is to either when the layouts come in, to think about what would be, how could we make this look as good as we possibly can, and the camera is just kind of the final result somewhere along the way. Oh yeah, we need a camera to capture it. But it's mostly, you know, the casting, the location, how we're gonna light it, and then eventually the camera shows up because we have to capture it at one point. So that's usually, it's kind of down in the priorities, you know. Everything else has to be, all the ducks need to be in the row before we pull the camera out. Okay. You know, so.
How do you get a shot, an image that's really going to stop people in their tracks?
I think that when I do stuff for myself, when there are no external constraints of what we need to communicate, but I'm working purely on visuals which need to make me happy. It is kind of the concept behind it, that actually, you know, the image should look like something you haven't seen too much, and something what I think it's worth coming back to look at it again. So how you do that, you know, it's trying to go as far away from cliches, you know, taking conceptualizing, because I think that in the past there were these film secret and developer secret and how you did all that stuff, but now these days everybody does it kind of, the technology is kind of was a big equalizer, and I think that the only thing what distinguishes us as a photographer are the ideas behind the shot. It's really the idea, and maybe your lighting skills or lighting experience. So that's kind of what I'm pushing for. So take a little bit new look at the mundane object, which nobody thought before that it's really interesting looking. A little story where things look a little bit off and tweaked, where people would take a second look at this, what is going on here. So that's it's kind of the overriding feel of the shots.
In terms of lighting, what are some tips for photographers who are trying to improve their lighting techniques?
That's the beauty these days with a digital capture, that you can try so many things, and kind of where some photographers shoot a lot of different images and then edit. I usually am pretty clear how the image should look like, and I try different lighting styles on the same image, and then kind of feel like, this looks the best this way. And so, I get relatively quick doing this, and so with digital you can try something what in the past would have taken literally 10 times as long. We just quickly take a couple of captures and look at it, how the light looks like, So maybe playing around, not falling into the conventional traps of well, this looks good enough, when the picture is showing up. So, breaking the rules, it's such a cliche, but often, it's kind of the breaking the rules replaces the happy accident from the past. There used to be the happy accidents with film, and it's like, oh, that looks good. So that really, it's you see it on the screen. It either looks good or it doesn't look good. So yeah.
So developing your ideas for an image, what is your inspiration?
This little observation, which just kind of almost sometimes when I'm lost in thoughts, just little observation, and I sketch something quickly out, and that idea gets more and more refined. So the observation is being, funny refraction of light of edge of a car in Manhattan. There are all these little things. So that looked good. Sometimes it is an idea which happened because somebody knocked something over, and you see like spilling glass, and it's like, so we start refining it as a still life. So there are things what happen during a living, I guess. So yeah,
getting those moments, capturing the moments.
Yeah, and then just kind of like writing it down and super quickly sketch it out, and then refining the sketch. And so I have this stack of sketches, which eventually when I'm like, Tuesday I could shoot something, so we look like, oh, this one would be a good one now, so there's this stack which I never seem to catch up, and eventually as the stack is getting bigger and bigger, they become more dated, the ideas, and so then you toss it out and kind of refresh the stack and keep shooting it.
Stan, any final points for photographers who just want to get better images?
I think you're going to become an instantly better photographer if you put the camera on tripod. Because I think the preoccupation that you're holding something and need to, it's when you can, when you can step away from it. And I guess that's kind of like the whole discipline from, coming into the photography as a large format guy. So you kind of have to look at it upside down, which actually even more abstracted what's in front of you, and you kind of had to think about it if it's worth shooting. Supposed to this kind of the so to speak, the reality show clicking away, and hopefully I edit through all this stuff and there's a one good one. In my mind, it's the easiest step to take to get better pictures. You know, there are people who have completely different opinions, I'm sure, but this is kind of a one thing what I pretty convinced about, you know.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks again for inviting us to
welcome.
your studio and for giving us an inside look into your world.
My pleasure. All right.
Be sure to subscribe to our blog now to stay updated on my show, and we'll give you tips and insight to keep advancing your photography. Also, check out our guests' website for a closer look at their work. Tune in to our next episode of Advancing Your Photography for an inside look at another photographer's world. Until then, this is Mark Silber reminding you to get out and capture your own images of life.